It was definitely a Fenty down situation at Sephora. Like, I had to get everything apparently. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick review on the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. So this came out, I believe, like sometime last week. I think the timing of its release was perfect because how many of you are tired of wearing liquid foundation under your mask? So with that being said, like, I feel like powder foundations have a tendency not to transfer as much and they don't feel as icky when they're on your face. So I think that these are going to be perfect. And then I also just happened to pick up some of the Cream Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush by Fenty and also her new Cream Gloss Bombs. Guys, usually I do my whole face on the camera. I actually did my eyes off camera because I just wanted you guys to focus on this foundation. So, of course, typical packaging for Rihanna. What I love about her is her packaging is so simplistic, but then at the same time you can spot it from a mile away. It all has that like kind of black, gray, and peach look to it. So this is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. It says that it's medium to full coverage for all. Light as air, flawless filter effect. So we kind of know what the agenda is with Fenty at this point. We know that she wants everything to be inclusive. So she has everything from super, super, super light shades to super dark shades for everybody to be inclusive. All of her colors are all inclusive. They're universal colors that, you know, no matter what your skin tone is, you can wear it. I feel like I'm using it on multiple people that have different skin tones. I find that I can use pretty much anything, especially when it comes to our ladies who have a lot of melanin. Like the skin tone range on these foundations just does not do it. They do not have the right undertones. They are ashy colors and it just looks really bad on their skin. So just to know that a product is catered specifically for women who struggle to find their shade is fantastic to me. It comes in like a little white compact, which kind of looks different from their other compacts. So I think that we all can relate to the difficulty that we are all experiencing finding our shades in foundations. So even though Fenty has 1,000 colors, I believe this foundation comes in 50 different shades, which is crazy. Although it comes in these colors, it's still difficult to find your foundation if you cannot swatch, and they barely let you even pick up the product to even look at it closely. I found it difficult to find my shade just based off of that fact alone. However, you know, the people that were in the store were very, very helpful, and the shade that we ended up going with was 385. Personally, I do not recall what shade I wear in the Fenty foundation, just because for me and for my skin, the Fenty foundation, both the matte foundation and the hydrating version, they just were not my favorites. So I think that I bought Fenty all of 2 times and then I stopped buying it, so I couldn't really recall which shade I was, but we ended up going with 385. This is what the shade looks like. So to me, it looks pretty spot on. She did swatch it onto a tissue, which kind of made me like have a better idea because it was right up against that white tissue. So I was like, okay, like this looks like it has the right hues to it. So when you lift up here, you just have a little pad. When it comes to oh, hi. And then a mirror too. That's nice. I didn't even see that. And another mirror. Wait a minute. There's 2 mirrors. Oh, this one's a magnifying one. And then this one is just the regular. Wow. Just going to do a quick color check. I mean, that looks pretty spot on. A little bit, I would say that's more of a yellow undertone than a red or a peach undertone, which is typically what I go for. But in the mirror right now, it's looking pretty good. I'm trying to look onto the monitor. It does look a little bit standoffish in the monitor. Sometimes the colors are a little bit off when I'm filming versus what they look like in person. Just trying to get a little closer. And just FYI, I did prime my face with the Varsali liquid glass before doing this. So I will say that I'm not really a fan of this sponge. I just don't really know like what to do with it. So I'm going to switch over to my Real Techniques brush. This is brush 003. I like this because it's kind of like a blush brush, but it's kind of compact where it's really going to pack that powder on. I don't want to use anything that's super fluffy because then I'm not going to get any coverage. As far as coverage goes, I think that this has some pretty darn good coverage for it to be a powder foundation. Whenever you use a powder foundation, there's no way in the world that you are going to get liquid coverage with a powder foundation. It just doesn't work. And if you are saying, no, you're wrong, the such and such foundation works like that, well then let me know. Drop the link, because I want to know if there's an actual powder foundation that gives you liquid coverage. Also, I haven't added any concealer or anything like that, so I'm probably going to go in with that stuff here next. So over top of this, I'm just going to put my Stay Naked concealer, which is my favorite. Usually I would blend my concealer out with a wet beauty blender, but there's something that is so creepy about actually like blending your foundation with a wet beauty blender when you have on a powder foundation. There's something about that just ugh. I'm going to blend out my concealer with my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Flat Top Buffing Foundation brush. This is one of my favorites. They do have a similar foundation brush that is more like tapered, but I love this for blending out concealer because it just does it so seamlessly. So now that I have the concealer blended, I actually take back what I said about that I could go lighter. I think that this is actually perfect because once you add the concealer, it just really lightens it up. This is my good cheek. This is my bad cheek from where I had cystic acne growing up, and I will say that you can definitely see a lot more texture than you usually would, but it goes back to what I said. You're not going to get that full coverage look where liquid will sit more on top of your face. A powder just kind of glides across. So when she says medium to full, like, yeah, I could build it up, but I don't want a big hole, you know, in my foundation before I even like get to use it. I'm just going to take some powder and set this down really quick. So like this product said, it's super duper light, and I really don't feel like anything is really on my face, which is great because of us having to wear masks. Like I mentioned before, I kind of went on a little craze about Fenty while I was at Sephora. So I also got the new Gloss Bomb creams. The one that I got is Mauve Wives. It's kind of like it's kind of like the color of my nails. So this is what it looks like. Like I said, exactly like my nails pretty much. Oh, so cute. And this isn't even really a color that I would typically go for, but I had to have it. Gonna take my powder off here. So like Rihanna's liquid foundation, this dries down super matte, which is probably great for everybody. It's great for those masks, I know that. However, I like my stuff to be like a little bit on the dewy side, so I'm actually going to spray this down with some Morphe setting spray, and then also put the Aqua Glass Mist on top of it just to give it like a little bit of a dewy look. Woo! After spraying that definitely like livened it up. Like you can see like a little bit of glow coming through, which is just how I like my makeup to look. Like no one has like a super matte face. Like if that's what you like, that's fine, but that's just, I don't like that. It just brings out my texture. So the last thing that I bought by Fenty Beauty was the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush. I have been wanting to get my hands on this for forever, but when I came to Sephora originally, they didn't have it in the stores yet, and then at that point I just kind of forgot about it. So I know I'm late to the party. I know. White packaging, has the cream in the background because it's part of that little cream series that she's doing, and the color that I got is called Summertime Wine. It's like a pinky red. It's showing up more red than it is on the camera, but this is more kind of what it's like, is this pinkish color back here. Now I don't know what kind of brush I want to use for this because it's kind of, I'm just going to use my little kabuki brush. Ooh, that's a lot more pigmented than I thought it would be. I'm trying to buff some of this out. Woo! Super pretty though. All right, so now I definitely have my mistake corrected. I'm just gonna add some mascara here, and then I'll tell you my final thoughts. So before I tell you guys anything, I do want to put on my zoom lens really quick, and I want to zoom in so that you guys can see like really close. So getting up close and personal. I feel like this looks really good, especially to be a powder foundation. So overall, I was very pleased with all of the products. For the powder foundation, I would definitely give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. No, I would give it 5 out of 5 actually, because I don't really like, what did I take a star off for? The blush, love it. I just can't be so heavy-handed. And then the lip gloss, I absolutely adored. So Riri, you did it again, girl. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment for me, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.